This is our first apartment in Bloomington and our little kitten that we took in. This is our first meal, very first meal. And here is another view of the apartment. I made thank you notes by hand in those days, and Irwin actually put up with a cat sitting on his shoulder. Our friends came to visit us on motorcycles.
Roger and Ron.
There they are, bringing their suitcases and sleeping bags. And here we are at Brown County in our famous Mustang, visiting our friends. And then it was off to Tougaloo for a summer of upward bound and life in the deep south. These are our students. It was a very sobering and interesting summer. We're visiting one of our students out on his cotton picking farm.
This is an interesting story. This student, Larry, only got into the program because he petitioned directly to Robert F. Kennedy to get in. It was a very interesting experience for us, taking black students through the South. We were asked to leave at least one restaurant, but these are just some pictures of what it was like in the Mississippi Delta.
And, of course, our first meal at Tougaloo College was pig's ears, not Irwin's favorite. And then off to Expo with Will Grant.
Later that summer, Montreal. It was an interesting experience. This is the Iranian pavilion. Of course, Iran was still our friend at the time. That is the Soviet pavilion you're about to see, the curved pavilion there. This is the U.S. pavilion. And here's a shot of the distorted image of the Russian pavilion through the U.S. pavilion. Of course, the reason we were in Bloomington is that I was in grad school in physics. It was a very heady time, a lot of political activity. Here's one example. Does anyone recognize this presidential candidate? Yes, it's Eugene McCarthy. There was a big student push to get a liberal president like him, and along with Eugene McCarthy came several entertainers, including
Tom Lear. All this took place in Dunn Meadow, and Peter, Paul, and Mary. And the meadow was full of students in hippie dress, cheering and cheering. There they are, singing away, Peter, Paul, and Mary. And then we took our first vacation, our first big vacation to the Yucatan. We found all kinds of ruins that were being torn down to build the road, which was not even a road when we were there. This was the road to Tulum, folks, 2 lanes. We hitchhiked with somebody that we met who had a VW bus.
We ran out of food and it got dark, and we stopped to sleep at this beautiful lagoon, which later became the National Park of Xel Ha.
And here we are walking down the road trying to figure out where to find food. There were, of course, no place to stop. And then suddenly we came upon the beautiful ruin of Tulum.
There were 2 little boys selling Pepsi-Cola, of all things. We had Tulum all to ourselves for 3 nights.
We were invited to stay at the lighthouse by Gumercindo, this very Rousseauian character, handsome. He would get out and spearfish every day for us to have something to eat. We would play poker by kerosene.
We wanted to give him a gift, so we walked into the village of Tulum about an hour away. Everyone spoke Mayan except for the school teacher. Most of the people were involved in chicleros.
And then we finally bought our chicken and walked back through the jungle. And then we went to visit my sister in the very civilized Oregon.
That's Susie and John. And my parents would invite us several times down to Florida, where they vacationed in the winter. We also took vacations with our friends, camping. We did quite a bit of camping in southern Indiana.
We were very poor.
Yeah, but it was fun.
It was very fun.
We had the tent. And then one summer we got together with Barry and my other fraternity brother Joel, and we discovered that all the women were pregnant. That was the summer of 1970.